Step 2 is where now I'm going to start the process of building a new character. Now something new is going to be added to my life. I'm going to come to believe, there's like 3 parts to step 2. I'm going to come to believe that a power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. The problem I had with step 2 when I first heard it, and for like the first 4 years I was in AA, was that I thought it said I'm going to come to believe in a power, and that somehow magically, because I believe in this power, if I got the right one, that I was going to be restored to sanity because I said, okay, I believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and because I believe that now everything's going to be taken care of, or because I believe that Allah is God now. And I kept waiting in AA. I kept waiting for them to open up the back door to take me into the room to tell me which one I had to believe in. I kept waiting all through the steps. I'm like, when are they going to tell me which God is the one I have to believe in if I want to be restored to sanity? And it doesn't say that. It says I'm going to come to believe that a power greater than myself. So I'm going to come to believe, and I'm going to come to believe that there's a power that's greater than me. So there's 2 powers. I was taught there's 2 powers. I'm a power and God's a power. And that's it. You are not a power in my life. I thought I was powerless over everything and everybody got to have their way with me and whatever. I just was like, this weak, powerless person that got pushed around everywhere in my life. But it's not true. I'm the power. I can give you my power. But I'm the one who decides all by myself in the light of my own circumstances just how I'm going to be and what I'm going to think. I'm the one that does that. You don't do that. Now, I'll give you my power if I think I'm going to get something back from you. Some money or some sex or some drugs or some alcohol or whatever it is I think I'm going to get. I'll give you all the power that I need to get what I think I need to be okay in the moment. But there's only 2 powers, and I'm going to come to believe that there's a power greater than myself that could restore me to sanity. And the way that happens is by sharing my life with that power. How am I going to, if you want to have a relationship with another person, you've got to walk over and start talking to them. You got to start sharing your life with them so that you can have an interaction with that other person. And then you come to believe whether or not you want to be friends with that person based on the conversations that you're having with them and the way that they treat you and the way that it works out. And it's the same thing with this power in step 2. This is not a willingness step. This is not, I'm willing to believe, now let's move on. There's a coming to believe that has to happen. And I have to practice it right now. I have to practice. It says at the end of the step, it says that I'm going to practice the presence of God. The way that it happens, it says, true humility and an open mind can lead me to faith. And every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore me to sanity if I rightly relate myself to Him, to it, to the higher power. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it something. There's a guy in one of the meetings, he calls it Murray. He said, if you did as much for me as Murray did, I'd call you Murray. You can call it whatever you want. God doesn't care. He does not care. Just do it. You're not gonna come to believe by accident. You're not gonna come to believe in time. You're not gonna come to believe because you don't drink. I didn't. I had to go. Power. Could you help me? Could you help me just sit in this chair? It's a long day today. You're going to need a lot of help. This is not a self-help program. AA is not a self-help. If you came here expecting to be taught self-confidence, it says that in the first step, you're going to be in for a big surprise because self-confidence actually is a liability in AA. The more I rely on self, the more trouble I'm in. There's another one of the Tebow papers. It's called Surrender versus Compliance. Compliance is the enemy of surrender. Compliance is, oh, I don't like the way that guy just talked to me, but I'm not going to say anything because AA taught me restraint of pen and tongue. So I'm not going to say anything, but I hate that bastard and I'm going to get him back one day. That's what compliance sounds like. I'll do the dishes, but I don't like doing the dishes. So as soon as I'm done, something good better happen, or I'm going to be pouting and stomping my feet around the house all night. There's always a price with compliance. There's always a, I'm going to get mine later with compliance. There's no surrender in compliance. And compliance is taught a lot around AA as a way of getting by. But it ends up building old character. It ends up making me sick or sober. Because I think I'm doing the right thing. Why am I so miserable? I did the right thing, but I didn't want to. And this isn't about doing the right thing. This is about being restored to sanity and doing the thing that I'm intuitively guided to do, which sometimes is the kind and loving thing, like doing the dishes, and sometimes it's no, it's not. I'm not doing the dishes tonight. Sometimes that's the right answer. It's not being a doormat where everyone walks over you. It's about knowing intuitively right now what's the right thing to do. And sometimes I'm going to get it wrong. It talks about that in 11th step, right? In the beginning, I might do all sorts of absurd things thinking that I'm being guided by God. And it's good to have a sponsor, because when you have really, really, really good ideas, those are the ones you want to run by your sponsor before you do anything. Step 2, it says there's 3 kinds of people in step 2. There's the debater, right? It says all I have to do is, you don't have to believe anything. All you have to do is stop the debating society. Stop trying to figure out which came first, the chicken or the egg, if there's a God or there isn't a God. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there is a God or there isn't a God. You can't get hurt by coming to believe that there's a power greater than yourself that could restore you to sanity. The worst thing that can happen is that you rightly relate yourself to this power and you don't get restored to sanity. So you didn't lose anything. There's no argument. Everyone wants to argue about God. I don't care if you believe or you don't believe. If you try, when I tried to practice the presence of a power, something happened. I was in the kitchen with my wife once, and we were having an argument, and this time, I swear to God, this time I was right. I'd never been right yet, but this time I was definitely right. And the argument was escalating, and it was getting to that place where, the next thing out of my mouth could have been something that we might stay together, but the relationship will never be the same because it's going to be so mean. And something happened, and I paused for a moment, and something happened, and something said to me, why don't you just be quiet? And I said, really? But I'm right. I said, it's okay, just be quiet. So I be quiet. I stopped my side of the argument. And it was like a miracle. The argument stopped. It just stopped. It just ended. It was beautiful. And the rest of the night was fantastic. And it was like a little miracle, right? It just ended. So fast forward a couple of weeks, and I was right again. And this time I was going to show her. And we started the argument, and then I remembered. Something said, just be quiet. So I looked at her like she was an idiot. It's kind of sideways, like, really? We're going to have this conversation? But I didn't say anything because the power told me not to say anything. And I looked at her funny, and it got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse. And then I got it. And, when it was intuitive guidance and it really came from a power and it said don't say anything, it was a beautiful experience, and it transformed that argument into nothing. But then I thought that I had gotten this intuitive guidance, and now it's an old idea that if I just be quiet, that the argument will end, except for that I do it with self, and self is a little nasty. and it doesn't work. And I think, wow, that's weird. I thought I was intuitively guided not to say anything. Why didn't that work? And, it says in How It Works, that's read at almost every meeting, it says, I have to let go of my old ideas absolutely, or the result is nil. You want to know the craziest thing? Everything that has happened up until this moment right now, everything, every guidance that I've gotten from my higher power, every old idea up until right now, everything I know is an old idea right now. Everything. I have to be connected to the power right now for the guidance that's needed for this problem, this life, this situation right now. So even if I get guidance, it's old. I need to be connected now, and I can be. And the program allows me to be connected to something that I've never been connected to before, something other than me, something greater. It's greater. It happens to be the thing that created the universe that is still this morning digesting my food for me so I can sit up here and talk like an idiot for hours. All the hard stuff is taken care of. So I have to stop the debating society. It says all I need is a truly open mind. I thought open-minded was that I was, pretty liberal. I thought if two men wanted to get married, that's okay with me. I have an open mind. But that's not what it's talking about. That's open opinions. An open mind is a mind free of self. A mind with no preconceived ideas or opinions. Can you imagine that? That's the craziest, quietest place on the planet. No preconceived ideas. No opinions. It's just open. It's open to what's happening right now as being new and exciting and interesting and vital. And so a closed mind is my mind. I'm closed. I already think I know everything. You ask me the question, I already know the answer. I don't need a power. I know all the answers to everything. Just ask me. My mind, in the second step, it talks about the intellect. Now we come to another kind of problem. My kind, my favorite kind. The intellectually self-sufficient man or woman. It says in here that I think knowledge is all-powerful, right? I think I'm going to come in here. I'm in the delusion that I can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if I only manage well. And if I get enough knowledge, then I'll be able to manage well. Intellect could conquer nature. Then it says, since I was brighter than most folks, and then it says in parentheses, so I thought, the spoils of victory would be mine for the thinking. Now, I just want you to take 1 second. I just want you to try this on. Do you agree that you are just a little bit smarter than everybody else in this room? Like, I know I'm not book smarter than everybody in this room. I'm not a book smart kind of guy. And I know that there's people in here that are more street smart than I am. And there's more people that are in here that are more money smart than I am. But my whole package, the whole package, what I've got, I am positive that my whole package is just a little smarter than your whole package. So I'll sit here and smile and nod, but I'm thinking about everything that's being said, and I'm deciding what I like and what I don't like. And I'm running it all through my intellect, what I know. I have an opinion about everything. That's an amazing realization, isn't it? Everyone that laughed, I think, could relate, and those that weren't were too embarrassed to laugh, but that's an amazing thing, that I think I'm smarter than everyone else. Just a little bit. Don't be offended. So I have to have an open mind, a mind free of self. There's other kind of, so there's the debaters. Those are the smart people that got in the debating society, and they know how to debate it. And it's not really talking about a debate, because a debate would be two teams, one over here and one over there, and they pick a subject, and one argues against it, and the other argues for it. My debating society is one team. It's me. And I'm divided in half. And half of me is agreeing with what's going on, and the other half is disagreeing with it. So there's a conflict going on inside of me all the time. Yes, let's go there for dinner. No, I don't want to go there for dinner. Yes, let's go. It'll be great. No, the parking will suck. And it's a never-ending debate that goes on in my mind. There's the other kind of problem. There's the person who is a I feel like my brain is turned off for a minute. The minute I stop fighting, the arguer. I'm an arguer. I'm not really a debater. I'm more of an arguer. The minute I stop arguing, I begin to see and feel. And it's talking about arguing about if there's a power or not. Is there a power? Isn't there a power? I can have that argument forever. And I love to find fault with religious people. It's just a pastime of mine that I just love. When somebody messes up and they're a public figure and they've been on one side and they're religious about it, I just love it. It warms my heart. But really, this is about me arguing if there's a power or not with myself. And the minute I can stop arguing, just say, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try coming to believe right now. The minute I stop arguing, I begin to see and feel something different. And then there's the physical guys, the fighters. So then it says, to the fighters, all I have to do is stop fighting and practice the rest of AA's program as enthusiastically as I can. So it covers the intellectually debaters, the arguers like me, and then the fighters, the physical guys, the ones that every problem they have, they just beat the hell out of it. And the minute I can stop fighting and practice this instead with my energy, put it into doing this program as a way of life, then I can have this power. So it says that there's another principle. Here's another principle. It's the scientific principle. And the scientific principle is the principle of all scientific progress is search and research again and again, always with an open mind. That's how you come to believe. That's how I came to believe. I searched and researched. Again, power, are you there? Are you really there? Because I need some help right now. I want to kill somebody. Could you help me? Could you help me with my anger? And something happens. Or it doesn't. If nothing happens, nothing happens. But when I try this repeatedly, again and again, searching and researching with an open mind, I'm open. No preconceived ideas. Let's see how this is going to work out, power. I'm giving it all to you right now. Here's my anger. You take it. Help me with it. And see what happens. And something happens. And then I have an experience. I'm restored to sanity. I get some peace. Being restored to sanity for me means not having that mind that's always going. That's always killing me. I'm restored to sanity in this moment. When I have some experience with being restored to sanity, first of all, once it happens, if you can have 1 second of it, you're never the same again, ever. You know. Once you know the truth, which is once you know your higher power, once you have a little connection and you have a little bit of restored to sanity, you can never be the same again. What's that saying? The truth will set you free. But what is it? How does the whole saying go?
Well, first love set you.
No. How does the whole saying? The quote it's from the Bible,
Yeah,
but
Anybody else?
What's that?
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. See, I often heard just a little piece of that. I'm not a Bible person. Don't get nervous. But it says, The truth shall set you free. And I thought that said, telling the truth will set you free. So I'm running around telling everybody the truth. And it's not setting me free. I made a lot of enemies telling the truth, because what is the truth? The truth as I saw it was you were wrong and I was right. And that wasn't setting me free. And I heard a guy talking about that the other day. And the truth is that connection to the power. That the truth is in that connection to the power. So the truth, my connection to that higher power, is what sets me free. Not telling the truth. Telling the truth can get you in a lot of trouble when it's not right to tell the truth. Because sometimes the truth isn't. The truth is something that I made up. It's true because I say it is, right? Whatever my mind says is true. It doesn't, real or fancied, it doesn't know the difference. I've lost the ability to tell the difference between the true and the false. That's a line in the book. So, but the truth, knowing the truth, knowing my higher power, having a relationship with that higher power sets me free. So, that's step 2. You know, it talks about people that have had religious stuff have a harder time coming to it, maybe because you've had faith and you've lost faith, and maybe you didn't get something you prayed for. And this isn't about getting anything. It's not about getting in. AA doesn't help me get new jobs. It doesn't help me get new women. It doesn't help me make more money. What it does is it allows me to be at peace. When I'm at peace, women are attracted to me. Jobs are attracted to me. People want me to work there. People invite me to go to London and do something like this. This didn't happen because I was crazy and called Neil every day. Come on, get some money together. I want to go to England. Let's get this thing going. It didn't happen like that. So this is the way of life. It starts in step 2. It's not a willingness to believe. It's a coming to believe right now in this moment that there's a power, and that power is greater than me, and that power is the thing that restores me to sanity. When I have some sanity, and I've had some experience with step 2, step 3 is a no-brainer.